What exactly do the steps of writing and developing a musical look like? And how do you know where exactly you are in your journey so you can know precisely what the next step is that you should take? The process of creating a musical is famously very difficult and very long, and it's so easy to get lost in the sauce. And as much as I love sauces, we do want to be able to figure out where we are and find a way out toward our goals. So here's a full breakdown of the entire musical theater writing and development journey so you can figure out exactly where you are and precisely what you need to be doing next as your next steps. Now, I am going to be breaking this down today in a way that covers all of the bases for those of you who are relatively new to musical theater writing or just joining us for the first time, and welcome. So that might mean for the rest of you that there are some things I talk about today where you're like, hey, I already know that thing. That's great. Give it a little check mark in your brain and you can move on to the next piece. But here's the thing, y'all. A lot of you who come to this channel are going into this process for the first time. So I do want to make sure that I am catering a little more toward all of you today so you can know exactly what it is you need to know and need to do. One more quick note. I will be putting this into two different categories, the what to learn category and what to do category, having them separate. But in reality, you're going to be learning and doing at the same time. Always. The best way to learn new information is to learn it and then put it immediately into practice and to experiment and to do as you learn and learn as you do. Whether you're a beginner or you've been at this for, I don't know, almost 20 years, this is the way that we learn and we progress and we grow. Okay, here is where I suggest you begin. What to learn? All right, we're gonna start super basic here, and I want you to first and foremost understand what a musical is and what a musical is not. We've talked about this a lot here on the channel, in the live streams and in videos, and there are plenty of resources out there. But it's very important that you understand the medium that you want to be writing for. That being said, also having a clear understanding of what makes musical theater different from other similar media, where things cross over and where they do not, is extremely important. And then here's kind of a fun little task for you. You need to watch a lot of musicals, whether they are live or they are recordings. Listen to them, find them, read them, look through the scores if you can read music, and figure out what do you like, what do you not like, and hopefully a little bit of, well, why? Once you have all of that down, we move on to the essential basic information. Did I make that sound epic enough? Okay, there are a lot of essential basics out there, but the first thing that you need to understand is musical theater story structures and what your options are. And yes, it does mean that you have to know all of the structure options. I'm not saying you have to use them, but know the rules before you break them. Come on. Song spotting, also known as song placement. This is a big one. You need to know where in the story it is natural for a song to occur, and then from there, figure out what is specific to your stories. Collaboration types and what you want, what you don't want, and how to communicate with collaborators, how to find collaborators, all the collaboration things. It's essential basics, we need it. Musical theater development paths and options. There are 1.6 bajillion different ways to develop a musical, and so just knowing what the path options are is going to be critical because you will encounter probably all of the things at some point, so you gotta know them. Oh, everybody's least favorite, the business basics. There are some business things you just simply have to know, including fun things like royalties, we all like the money piece, and less fun things like contracts. And then I don't care if you're here as a words person or a music person, you do need to be able to read music. At the very least, go forth and do that. If you can make it all the way through like Western Music Theory 1 and Western Music Theory 2, that's awesome. I strongly suggest it, but at the very least, be able to read music. Okay, the next thing is Songwriting Foundations. In this category, we are going to start with, what is it? What's that word? Structure. Oh my goodness. Common song structures for musical theater. Whether they're classic or contemporary or something in between, it's good to know what the song structures are, how they function, and why they work. Hey! This is, again, if you're a words person or a music person, you're gonna need to know all of this. So lyric basics, things like rhyme and scansion. All collaborators are involved in that, so do make sure you all know that. Likewise, Composition basics, which again can mean for words people that you at least are able to read music and understand what a melody is and is not, what chords are, chord progressions, just like the very basic stuff is good to know. And then composers, yeah, you're gonna need to know composition basics, for sure. Go take some composition classes. How to craft song journeys. All musical theater songs are journeys of some variety. So you have to know what they are so you can know how to craft them. Musical world and musical motif. Gotta know what they are and how to build them and how to analyze when other people do it. Here's a big one everyone forgets, how to write for the voice. In musical theater, the main instrument you're writing for is the voce. So gotta know what that is and how to do it. And then we have certain types of songs that are very standard in musical theater, kind of tropey in a lot of ways, but are going to make their way into your shows all the time. Things like character establishment songs, charm songs, comedy songs, love duets, almost in love duets, all sorts of fun things. So you're gonna need to know about those as well. Now, everything that I just talked about in the last two categories, all those essential basic foundations, as well as all the songwriting stuff, that, if you want that in a setting where you do not have to do all of the self-education, then you should join us for the Flagship Musical Theater Writing Workshop course. It runs 2 times per year and we cover all of that, and hey, you do these things practically. You try it out as you go through. So if that sounds at all of interest, then you can read more by clicking the link in the description below. Okay, and the last what to learn section is going to be under Book Writing Foundations. Now here you're gonna need to know a whole host of things that I created an entire process for called Book and Beyond, which is also a course here that you can check out also in the description below. But these are the essential things that you need to know for book writing, and that again affects everybody in the collaboration team. First and foremost is emotional arc and pacing. That is the key to literally everything in musical theater and why things work or do not work. Tent poling and story beats. You may think you know what those are, but when applied to musical theater, they change. Tearing out your characters and creating compelling character journeys. Creating a deep outline or doing the deep outlining process to a certain arc and structure. Musical theater dialogue and how to move in and out of songs. Extremely important. Likewise, stage directions and stage action. A little bit boring, but still, you need to know that stuff. Exposition, conflict, resolution, essentially all of the elements of suspense as well as dramatic tension. Opening sequences, which are so much more than you think they are. And then similarly, your structural act 1 and how it functions and how it sets up the entire show for everything you're about to do. And getting that right, which again is so much more than you think it is. Now, I will say here that you can learn the basics of songwriting and the foundations of book writing at the same time if you'd like to. I do think everyone should learn everything, but for me personally, I would rather learn one thing and then go to the other thing. But you do you, boo! And again, we cover everything from the book writing section inside Book and Beyond, so if you're interested in seeing what that course is and potentially applying, link in the description. Do it! Now, as I mentioned, as you are learning, you must also be doing at the same time. Now, as I talk through the stages of the doing part of the process, I am going to do it as though we are focused on one musical at any given time. That's true. One musical at any given time, even though I know that us musical theater writers have a tendency to have multiple projects going on at the same time and in different stages. So this could be applied to any singular given musical, and you can just figure out where you are in this stage for any given musical you're working on. Without further ado, what to do? The first thing we're going to do, friends, is we're going to plan. First and foremost, you need to get an idea that you like and that you want to live with for the next, decade. Then the next part of planning is finding your collaborators. Now, before you come at me and yell at me for that being so early in the process, yes, this is part of my philosophy. You must find your collaborators early. Okay, you don't have to, but I strongly believe you should, and I've made videos on this if you have questions as to why. The next thing is, and you guessed it, you need to answer those North Star question sets. The North Star questions. If you've not yet done so, you can click the link in the description below. It's free. It's actually part of the free membership. Just go get the North Star questions and answer them. They're so freaking important. Just do it. And the last major piece of the planning process is the deep outlining part of the process. And this includes everything from your tempos, through the big beats, through the character tiering and the arcs and the journeys, and then creating the gigantic deep outline. I teach that entire process in Book and Beyond. So again, check that out if you're interested. If not, I do believe I made an entire live stream video about that like a year ago. 2024 sometime. Somewhere in there. Go search it. Once you're through the planning process, we then move on to the first drafting process. Now, first and foremost, you're gonna hate me when I say this most likely, but here we go. I need you to just make it messy. Get it out of your head and onto something. I don't care if that's paper or if that's computer. It's gotta be messy and bloated and awful and terrible and vomity. We just call this a first draft pass. It's not even your true first draft, it's just the first pass. Get it out of your head and down. Okay, so then you have something to work with that you can take and you can shape into an actual first draft and begin to realize, what is it that I'm creating? Does this go with the things that I planned? Does it not? And then take it and shape it into an official first draft that you would call a first draft with a capital F. And that is the thing that you're going to then set once you realize, oh, I need actual people to help me out here and I need feedback. And then you're gonna pause. But first and foremost, get the messiness out. Look at it, figure out what's working, what's not, and shape it into an actual first draft. If you find yourself tinkering instead of progressing, stop doing that. You gotta move on to the next stage, which is get feedback. Hey, I talk about this all the time, right? Feedback is critical to the process of musical theater writing, and good feedback is even more critical, but it's because it's baked into the whole process of writing a musical. You cannot go through the entire process without getting feedback. It's just not doable. Your show's not gonna go anywhere. Now, after the first drafting stage, you want to do a casual reading of some variety for feedback. I've made videos on different types of readings and whatnot, so go look at that stuff. But you want a casual reading with people you know, you like, you trust, who can give you feedback so you can feel like you can hand something over, which is very vulnerable, and say, hey, can you tell me what's working, what's not? And then you can move forward into the next phase. The next phase is the giant phase of rewrite / revise / redraft. I know it's cliche. I hear it. And also, rewriting is writing. Writing is rewriting. They're the same thing. So like this is where you become a writer, is here in this stage. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our feedback from the previous phase and we're going to take it here to this phase. But what I want you to do is only take what's going to be useful to you. Do not take the things that are not useful. Leave them. Or if you are like, I think there's something in this, but I don't agree with it, take it with you and figure out what were they actually getting at along the way. Then what you're gonna do here is you're gonna make a big mess. You're gonna take your first draft and you're gonna make a whole bunch of new possibilities for next drafts. And you're going to hate some stuff and love some stuff, and you're going to have to like take this thing and cut it apart and re-bloat it and then shrink it back down and all sorts of fun stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. That is redrafting. Hi, welcome. The big thing here is to keep your eye on your North Star question sets. If you are working toward the goal of writing the thing and you are throwing away things that don't work toward that and you're bringing in the things that work toward those goals, then you're doing the right stuff. And at the end of this process, you will have a next official draft. Then what do? You get more feedback. Hey, it's a little cycle here of drafting to feedback, then redrafting to feedback, and redrafting to feedback. Now, when you're in this next part of the feedback process, you can be doing readings, you can be doing workshops, you can be doing large presentations. It depends on how many redrafts you've done and where you are and what kind of feedback you need. So yes, for clarity, this means that it's not just first draft into feedback, into rewriting, into feedback, and on we go. It's first draft into feedback, into rewriting, into feedback, into rewriting, into feedback, into rewriting, into feedback, until you can move on to the next thing, which you're not gonna know until you get to that stage of feedback where you're like, oh yes, okay, I'm ready. What is this next stage, you ask? Such a good question, thank you for asking. This is where you want to be seen and be heard. Now, I will say a lot of writers like to try to jump to this stage before they're ready, because it's fun, and redrafting is less fun. So I hear you when you're like, kicking your feet at me and complaining, but I do strongly believe that you should not go to this part of the process until you know for certain that the bones of the thing you've written are great. They are working toward those goals and you are doing all the right things. That's when you should move on to this stage. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, but the bones have got to be mwah. You know what I mean? Now this is where you're going to make demos, and some people even make full albums, and that's great and that's lovely and that's wonderful. You're gonna want to talk about your show, and you're gonna want to create a pitch packet, and you're gonna want to send things to people, and maybe even do a concert or do something big so that people can know you're writing a musical, and that musical is good. This could also be where you do a bigger reading, like an industry reading, or a larger workshop, or you partner with a major theater sort of a thing to do a big development piece that's a bit more showcasey. That's getting seen and heard. Now after that, we want to get you your collaborators for the next steps. Now these aren't the writing collaborators, these are all the other collaborators. To be fair, this can be a part of the previous phase. It can be, but I like to consider them as separate because it just clarifies things for me in my brain. This is definitely, absolutely where you need to be doing an industry reading or 2 or 3 to get the people that you need on your team. It's good to be seen and be heard, but also you gotta get people in the room to feel the entire piece out and also to talk with you. And what better way than to do industry readings? This is where I need you to start conversations. I need you to go forth and do some research. Find people that you want to work with, people who might be wanting to work with you or might want to work on your piece. There's a lot of just like gathering information, gathering people's contacts, doing reach outs, trying to figure out who do I know, who knows that person, and then try to make conversations happen. But one word of caution here. Only gather the people who are actually going to work toward the trajectory of your show as deemed by you and your goals and your North Star question sets. If they are potentially going to help you in your career but are actually going to tank the show, don't do it. Save that contact for later. And the last major phase is the one that you all want to hear about, and that is get produced, and then get produced again. Okay, I'm going to oversimplify this on purpose. Get a production. No, but truly, make production happen whenever and wherever and however you possibly can, as long as it actually fits your show. That's the major caveat here. Yes, we want productions, but also we want to make sure it is fitting the show and not just a production for the sake of having a production. And this is a phase where you're not just going to be like, okay, someone else do it, and then I will sit back here and I will collect my royalties and I will be so happy with myself. I mean, do collect the royalties, do be happy with yourself, but also make changes to the show during production process, after production. The point of first productions is to then continue to fix the show and make it better and get it to its ideal stages. Because what are we doing? We're getting produced so that we can then get produced again. Because we're always aiming toward that highest level of ideal production that each individual show is aiming for, whether that's Broadway or off-Broadway, West End, wherever you're headed. We want to get there, and there are going to be stepping stones along the way. And yes, this does mean that this part of the process takes a long time, and it can be a little bit frustrating, and you may even find that there are years between productions, and that's okay. You will have other projects hopefully to be working on in the meantime. And I know I just made that sound so simple and so easy, and it isn't. We all should acknowledge it isn't. It's hard. As we said before, musicals are hard. So I want you to let me know where you are with your show's journey across the what to learn and what to do process right now. Where are you? And see where other similar people are in our community by looking through the comments. And if you want some guidance and community along the way and you're interested in knowing where you can find that, then you should check out the Musical Theater Writing Collective and watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!